how it happened?
Well, I think it was just a very sort of instinctive sentiment that we all felt at that time when we were faced with that sort of shocking incidents that took place, possibly the most brutal and the most inhuman in centuries, and I think it will always be a deep sort of a scar and a deep wound in all of our conscience. So obviously I was deeply moved by the whole brutality of that action, and of course, I mean, if you cannot be so such a victim of your own mind that in that moment also, you know, you are letting your sort of thought process take over and be like, what is the best response to this? Let me think about it. It's okay, let your instinct take over. I don't really feel that every statement of mine has to be politically correct, or the Indian, sort of policy to kind of, adapt or to sort of think about. It's that what I felt. I felt like to sort of go to the border and sort of snatch somebody's gun and do the deed. So yeah, that was my very instinctive reaction.
Okay, being very honest. Kangana, there's an old Punjabi nazam. कुछ शहर दे लोग भी जालम सन, कुछ सानू भी मरन दा शौक सी. This is perfect for Kangana Ranaut in the industry. कि industry भी थोड़ी जालम थी और Kangana भी थोड़ी suicidal थी. I mean, you've had so many fallouts with everyone, even the Karni Sena, when I think something happened, you said, I'll destroy each one of them. One after the other. I mean, and we spoke about this, you said, listen, it's do or die for me. Can you elaborate that?
Sushant, you look at where I come from. I come from a situation where I really do not have a backup plan. I don't have a plan B. It's not that I wake up in the morning and think about, oh, wait a minute, how many people I can offend today and how to make my life more difficult. No, that's not how it is. I wake up in the morning thinking कि कैसे ये सबके बीच से मैं भी अपना रास्ता निकाल के चलूं. But I think where I belong, where I come from, I am not seen the way, like, look at my story. Where do you find, of course, there have been supermodels and Miss Worlds from equal, small towns and, not from filmy backgrounds, but they've had either their parents' support or, like in my family, nobody had a passport when I came to Mumbai. None of my, sort of family members had ever been outside of, outside of Himachal Pradesh, maybe up till Chandigarh, and of course my grandfather was an IAS officer, but he was not with the family. He had separated long ago. So I'm trying to say that the kind of story that I have, I really had a tough time, and what option did they leave me? It's not that they left me with an option. I wish they did. I wish they let me do my thing, and I wish they did not had this do or die situation placed for me. I would have really preferred it like that. But if one of us have to die, I will make sure it's not me, isn't it?
But when you say do or die, what are they doing to make your life more difficult? Are they cutting off the finances?
See, what happens is
people have stopped working with you?
No, see, we all know that Bollywood or film industry is absolutely classist, and so is the rest of the society. So the system where it works for certain people the way it is, they were definitely going to resist when you're going to challenge it. So when I came to the industry with a film like Gangster, I won the Best Actress award in the entire Asia. And then I did not have work at all because they did not know what to do with an actor like that. Item numbers were prevalent, and so were the really patriarchal and chauvinistic sort of, male depiction in the films where actresses are just showing up to get pinched in their butt or to get mocked or to sort of, so I did not have work. So like I said, if it's a do or die situation, I'm going to make sure that I survive because like I said, I do not have a plan B. When you're going to question so many things, they will try and shut your voice because the system has been working for them. So it is your prerogative as a person that, you see what you want to do, and of course they will do what they can to make sure that, that people like us do not survive who question the system.
Just a quick timeline so that everybody's memory is refreshed of the challenges that you faced and how you won 3 national awards in the process, but what was parallelly going on? Firstly, the Hrithik Roshan, this first time that a male star, goes to court against this another huge female star. Looking back at that episode, that ordeal still going on with you?
Well, I mean, here's a person who is like, before that, I would want to tell you that there are like, I am probably only actress who's never worked with like a big production house or a big hero, and I am successful on my own. So there are very strong rules that I've broken and norms that I've questioned. And coming to, like I've openly said that I don't need to work with a Khan, or like all my producers I've worked with, most of them are relatively new and directors been new. Talking about this case, this so-called case, which never actually happened. So here's a person I worked with in 2 films. He is completely denying even knowing me and getting away with it. How does that even happen? So that's what I mean, that in a system where you're going to question these many things, there are going to be people who will be offended because it was too convenient for them. They've been maybe they've had equation with people, and I think somewhere for women, the voices were suppressed way too easily, and that's why it was taken for granted that it's very easy to suppress a woman's voice and it will be crushed too quickly because it is such an absurd situation that you're in, where you're saying that you don't know the person at all, but you worked with the same person for 5 years because one film took 2 years in making, another took 3 years. How come you don't know the person? I mean, this is absurd, absolutely absurd. So even to think that you can get away with something like that is in itself is a sign of power drunkenness, where you think that you're too powerful and you can absolutely get away with anything. But yes, I think, like I said, if you're going to create a situation for me which is going to be do or die, I will do my best to survive.
And then it literally became a witch hunt where they started calling you a witch. Ye kala jadoo karti hai, isko kala jadoo aata hai. You remember that time, and what was your reaction?
Well, yes, I mean, there have been absolutely, like I said, bizarre situations I've been in, and at one point there were 6 to 7 people attacking me simultaneously, and some of them were claiming I'm a witch, some of them I'm claiming I'm a psychopath, and some of them were saying that I'm a credit stealer, or I've stolen the subject of Rani Lakshmibai, which is actually in public domain for anyone to make. So I have stolen that subject also. So obviously there were so many things going on and I did not know where to begin. I've been in situations like that. But yeah, eventually everything sort of...
How do you look at women empowerment in the industry? Since you arrived in the industry till now, how do you look at feminism? Are women more empowered in the industry today? You think so?
Are women more empowered? I think you're as empowered as you think you are. I mean, it's a very individual choice. I know of women who openly say that, I do not think I deserve the kind of remuneration my male counterpart does. What do you say about that? So it is an individual choice. If you believe that you are not an equal, then of course nobody can change that. But if you are somebody who believes in the universal law of equality, then yeah, of course.
What is your idea of feminism?
Well, my idea of feminism, it is a word which is really misused. And especially in today's time and age, I know so many people who know nothing about equality, and they wear these badges of feminism and pay parity and fighting for the cause and all of that. But for me, I think feminism, I don't go by the book sort of definition of feminism. I've made my own definition of things, and I don't think something like feminism should be, even though, I mean, the word itself is derived from feminine or female or whatever, but why should there be only equalities, which is sort of, which is influenced or related to sex? There should be equality of life. I mean, if you ask me my definition, everyone should be equal, including animals, including vegetation, including all kind of lives on planet. So why should we restrict it to gender? But like I said, why not have our own definitions? Why to, you see, what happens is one term is coined in a special era, and in that time, like feminism, I think it's centuries old, isn't it? So with time, we need to evolve the definitions. Now, I think along with women, a lot of tigers are also in danger. So we should save them as well.
Okay, and the big fallout, with Karan Johar, and you've been so vocal. I think if you do a role reversal with you, Ritik, and Karan, and you, where he is, where you are, all these people, it'll be...
He will never be where I am.
It will be very tough to survive, As you said, do or die for you. Your comments about certain individuals who you've had big fallouts with, starting with Karan.
Well, I personally, at that point of time, you feel really intensely about it, but later on, you definitely do not have really strong emotions. But I definitely feel that looking back, I would. Like I said, I still find it absurd that how can somebody just deny knowing you after working with you in 2 films? So I would definitely think it's dumb, now, even if I think about it like 100 years later, or even, like how Karan mocked me on IFA stage and called me, sort of on nepotism, and he said, I'm jobless and I'm looking for a job from him or something like that. I mean, look at my talent and look at your movies. I mean, really? He really called me jobless in London on some platform. So no matter what the time is or what the era is, I would always think that some people really needed a bit of a dose of Chyawanprash or something at some point.
Okay, I also want to ask you, when we look at the industry, what happened is you talked about this, that everybody now gangs up against you. What that means is essentially nobody supports you,
Well, it's not that I need their support. Do you think I need their support? No. I mean, so far, if you're talking about particularly about my movies, only 2 movies. When Queen happened, that is the time when I actually actively went to industry people and said that this film is for society and we should come together to promote it. And it's not that, like I only talk the talk and don't walk the walk. Like for me, it never mattered. When a film I felt is beyond my own like and dislike, I've gone out of my way to speak about it. So I think after Queen, so many films came. I never thought, that they deserved that sort of, support. But when Manikarnika happened, I went to many people and I expected, for them to sort of, show that sort of spirit. But it's not that they didn't only speak about it, but at the same time, I used to get a lot of calls from my actor friends and people from the industry, and who would have tears in their eyes, and they were like, "This is so amazing, and the film is so amazing." And I would tell them, "Okay, the film is in the theaters. Can you tweet about it or write something about it or say something about it?" Some of them would just vanish, disappear, would not reply, and some told me that, "Look, I don't want to be targeted against, or I don't want to take their names because I really value that they open their heart to me." But there were people, especially women, who said that, "I'm alone and you're very strong and I don't want to be targeted, so I'm sorry, but I can't talk about it or I can't write about it." Now that I felt was like a very, ugly kind of bullying, that nobody is allowed to talk about my film, even when they're feeling so moved and they want to. So that was a bit nasty, and I felt absolutely angry about it. And some of my friends who I've even cancelled my shoots, I've been to their trials and gone out of my way. And they also disappeared on me in a very strange way, and it all felt a bit too staged. In that context, I must have said that this film needed everybody's support, and not just industry, but every Indian's support. But for my own personal ambitions or my own personal motives, I don't think industry is obliged to, support me.
Very quickly then, comparisons. Whenever we talk about, not we, but whenever people write about the top actress, all of these big time producers, directors talk about the top actresses in the country, Deepika Padukone's name comes, then Alia Bhatt is referred as, the bright young star. But do you feel left out, and how do you compare yourself?
Well, it's not that I feel left out. I really feel I stand out. Because when you talk about actresses, here's 3 times National Award winning actor, and Mr. Johar of the Worlds tried to present a list of people whose even acting abilities are questionable, whether they even come to that category or not. And with a blank face question, so who is the best of this lot? And you're like, hello, sort of the brain feeding to, another magnitude. So like I said, there were times when we liked bell bottoms and we loved, the kind of neon shades people wore in the 70s. But when we look back, we sort of find them funny. This is what is going to happen to these people because they're going to look like idiots.
Now we know you are making a film on yourself. There's a biopic going to be on Kangana Ranaut. What's that film about? Are you going to be playing yourself in that film?
Well, yes, definitely a biopic will happen sometime soon, but I'm also toying with an idea of trilogy of women warriors. So Manikarnika could be one part, and there's so many. There is, there's Durgavati, there is Razia Sultan, there is, Jijabai. There are so many of them. So we are thinking of maybe taking the trilogy forward.
But the Hrithik episode is going to be in your biopic? Are we going to know what happened?
He's more interested in my biopic than like a superhero. So, my biopic will give me a chance to look at my life objectively, and every episode that has occurred in my life will be there. But at the same time, it's not an expose on people or the industry. It will be about my struggle, and eventually my life is very unusual, and I would like to present that. But yes, all the episodes will be there. Would you like to play him?
Me?
Because you seem obsessed.
No, I'm not obsessed. This one I asked you.
I think you're the right casting.
I'm not as good looking as him. I can't play him. But finally, I want to ask you. We've seen the angry Kangana Ranaut. We've seen the determined Kangana Ranaut. But there's a part of Kangana Ranaut that everybody misses, and we don't see it often. Is the love from Kangana Ranaut. Now, talking about love, what kind of men excite you? In terms of, because you're always in this attack mode. So we want to know your romantic side.
I'm always in attack mode. I think men would like that more. My romantic self is, of course I have a romantic side. I have a very, very romantic side. In fact, I feel that being an artist, I don't know how others feel, but it's so important to be to have desire in you and to be aroused with life. And I don't remember any time in my life where I've been out of love. I have a lot of sort of bad experiences with love, but the good thing with me is that I move on very quickly, and within 1 month I find another.
Are you dating anyone at the moment?
Sorry?
Are you dating anyone at the moment?
Well, not dating, but yes.
You have someone in your life?
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that? Can we know something about him?
Well, for me, where I am right now in life is at a place where I do not feel the need of like a regular dating or all of that. But I definitely, like I said, I'm at an age where I want to sort of have companionship and have something which can inspire me in life. But yeah.
Are you planning to settle down anytime soon? Marriage? Because there have been a lot of marriages lately. Deepika, Ranveer, Virat, Anushka.
But that's not the reason for anybody to get married. Just because everybody is married. Yeah, of course I will get married. Of course I will, would love to have a family, even though the population explosion is worrying me. But I would love to at some point. Yeah, I hope that happens.
I remember your director told me इसके लिए कोई लड़का होगा मोटा वुडी एलन जैसा कोई writer होगा. Have you chosen that sort of person, or can you tell us something about the kind of man that you've chosen?
Well, definitely. It's not that I've chosen somebody, but like I said, you always have your mind, your body, your emotions stimulated. And I'm out of that phase where, in my early 20s and mid 20s, I used to sort of, have a different expectation in a relationship. But now I am in a place where I am not as clingy as I used to be. I am a lot more easy to handle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What, you embarrassing me?
No, I'm not. Finally, Kangana, because, there's been a lot of talk about war. I want to know, what is Kangana Ranaut's idea of nationalism?
Well, nationalism is definitely another absolutely misunderstood term, and there are a lot of people who are out with their daggers to attack anybody who claims to be nationalist. But to be honest, nationalism is, for me, like I said, you can have your own definition, but what I understand from nationalism is it's not some divine intervention, or it's not a God-given idea. Nationalism or secularism or individualism, all these ideas are ideas, and ideas come from your subconscious or your environment. Even in your subconscious, they come from your environment. So all the ideas are just the same, but you need to know what works for you. In our country where we are today, we have the maximum population of youth, and the rich are super rich and the poor are super poor, and obviously 50% are dying of malnutrition. So nationalism is something which can help us uplift that huge population and to bring them to a level where there can be real equality. But maybe after 50 years it will get redundant. The idea of maybe individual liberation will be something that we should stick to. Like feminism today is relevant to me, but my daughter might just feel like, like for example, slavery in 1857 or 58, the film that I did, slavery was such a thing, and today people like us wouldn't believe, why would anybody want to enslave somebody or put their foot on somebody's finger and walk? I mean, it's so much more convenient to walk on the floor rather than walking on fingers. So you can't get your head around it. That would happen even with every idea comes with an expiry date. But right now, I feel we have a huge population of youth. If we don't give them something to hold on to, anything they will cling on to. Because I remember when I was in my teenage, or I needed an idea, and I know as a person the kind of ideas I clung to. They were ridiculous. They were wasting my time unless I found something significant in Swami Vivekananda, and he gave me an idea called nationalism. And I know it is very useful for us today, and people who in the name of secularism who are abusing nationalism, let me tell them, national anthem, they are not ready to stand for national anthem, they are not ready to, they have no tolerance for people even going to temples. Let me tell them that you're not believing in, a secular society, you're just believing in individualism. Because a secular society should be tolerant to everything. What is your problem with national anthem? If you have problem, you only want your own individuality, you want to function from your individuality, you do not believe in a collective identity. identity, which is nationalism. So that is precisely what nationalism, this is what our nation needs today. So like I said, it has to be a strategy. A sentiment can also be a strategy. Yeah, it's a long talk that I can talk about because I'm really passionate about it. And I think that this is the time where a lot of youth is adapting to this. And we should use this as a strategy, and we should rise and we should bring about equality. And nationalism can be that one thing that binds us together.
Right, love your work, and she's a woman who defines the word powerful. Knockout performer Kangana, thank you so much for being here at the India Today Conclave 2019. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Kangana. Thank you once again, and we love your unapologetic attitude. Thank you. That's Kangana Ranaut, ladies and gentlemen. 3 national awards to her credit.